Now, on Friday, the 8th of November, Kelly Montaka is going to be waving her arms in the air as she conducts the London Film Orchestra with some amazing music from the best of Hans Zimmer. She joins me now to tell me more about what's going on two almost sold out concerts. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well too. Now, the London Film Musical Orchestra, Illuminated 2, it's going to be an interesting evening, isn't it? With an amazing setting.
Yes, indeed. We are trying to kind of capture the magic of the movies with a production element of lights, and have kind of a light show around the music. So it just fills people's imaginations and they can reminisce in watching those movies when they were little.
And Hans Zimmer's music is just absolutely phenomenal. It makes a scene in a film or wherever else it happens to have popped up, and it is just so awesome. And it must be great, the opportunity to play in again great surroundings to a very welcoming audience.
Yes, the response we always get is very heartwarming. They share stories of why that music is very special to them, and it's actually, I always find it as a privilege to kind of share those special moments with the audience, and it's like the moment lingers and it's just gone forever after, but it's just like a very special connection you create with each audience we go to, and yeah, I really appreciate that opportunity of doing that and giving that to them.
Mhm. Now you've got the music of Hans as well as some other composers as well. So give us a bit of a breakdown of what we can expect musically on the night.
So you can expect to hear John Williams's music, and we sort of kind of go through kind of the favorites as it is in the title. And we sort of grouped together, rather than sort of playing everything, you get to hear the best bits of everything and all the melodies that you remember and, John Williams is known for. And would you like me to share some of the titles that we play?
Yeah,
Is that
go
what you
for
want?
it.
Is that helpful? So we start from John Williams. You get to hear Jaws, which is always very scary, and it's always a nice surprise. I hope I haven't given away the surprise now. Gosh. Then obviously Schindler's List, which I hold personal to my heart, and I think we're doing two shows that day, aren't we?
Yes,
So
you are.
it will be all compact into one. And I try and sort of introduce each piece a little bit as well throughout the show. Um, uh, just trying to think without giving out the whole set list. I don't know, let me think. Do you have any favorite John Williams scores in mind that you think you would like to hear in the show? And I
Well,
can
so, I mean, Star Wars
one.
is an amazing piece. Did John Williams do the Gremlin soundtrack as well?
Mm, wouldn't want to say the wrong thing. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
No, okay. He's not featuring in this show, though. We've just realised that much. But I mean, you've got all sorts of things for all sorts of ages too. I mean, the likes of Harry Potter, Inception, Man of Steel, Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean. There's a wide range of music you're featuring there.
I think, yeah, Star Wars is definitely in there. Pirates of the Caribbean is there. Yep, yep, all of the above.
So it's going to be two shows, each 75 minutes long, packed with some of the most iconic music from the cinema. And it all starts for the first show with entry from 6:30, 7:15 start, and ending the concert at 20:30, so 8:30. And then late concert from entry from 9. Music begins at 9:30 and runs through till 10:45. So two very busy shows, and I say just a pleasure to lead the orchestra in both of them, I'm going to guess.
Oh, 100%. I've learned a lot along the way. It's a little bit unusual, the setup actually. Normally you would just have a conductor in front of an orchestra, but I also play. So it's more of like a chamber ensemble. So we kind of follow each other. We know each other's cues. It's a lot of listening involved just to make sure we're all playing together at the same time. And sort of I have to do some strange wizardry with my hands of like I've had a show where because I have to like play and then kind of switch into conducting gear. And one time my bow just fell completely into the orchestra violins, and I had to like grab the bow back so I could continue playing. So there's little bits and bobs that kind of like, hopefully not everyone notices, because it is a little bit embarrassing, but it's like I've learned to maneuver my hands a little bit so that it can go kind of smoothly from one to the other. Luckily, I've never tripped over my dress. Fingers crossed that never happens. But yeah, that's one of those things where it's just kind of took learning, and then you're worried about the show and what you're going to say, and it's sort of going smoothly from one bit to another. But yeah, it's gone quite well, and we've structured it in that way that, you know, we're able to tour quite extensively with the ensemble that we have. And yeah, so I don't know if, does that answer your question? I
More or
kind of
less.
like
I
gone
think
there.
that's good. Yeah. How big is the ensemble?
So it's an 18-piece orchestra,
That's
and
gonna be a full sound, isn't it?
yeah, we have an amazing sound engineer as well, so to kind of help amplify the sound. And also in recordings, a lot of the time, there's a lot of electronic sound along with that, so we kind of combine the two. We have an amazing keyboardist called Jan Tebetsky, and he adds layers upon layers of sound to make it kind of sound really big. And we tour with, we have a lot of percussion on the truck. It's a full timp set with drum kit, mallet station. It's like we have all these stations on stage, and so yeah. And a full brass section. They're incredibly amazing doing that. It's very intense for them as well, because a lot of the film music is very brass heavy. And I can see sometimes during the show, like they try and rest their face because it's quite intense for the lip muscles to play brass instruments, and it's really intense on them. So I do try and give them a break in between shows as well.
Just for half an hour, just for that.
Especially for Star Wars, it's their bit to shine, because it's so profoundly brass heavy there, which is amazing.
But it sounds like it's been absolutely brilliant, sort of early evening and then later evening with the two shows. As you say, it's still taking place at Lichfield Cathedral. It is Friday, the 8th of November. The first show, you need to be in there for around 6:30. The second one for 9 p.m. Whichever it is you choose, tickets are limited. How do they get hold of those remaining tickets?
So if there's a couple of ways. There's one way of going through Facebook, as we have an event page there, and then also Eventbrite. And there might be, I'm just thinking, is there another way? No, Eventbrite is the way to go. Yeah.
Well, there are Eventbrite links from the Facebook event. So if you just search
Yeah.
for the best of Hans Zimmer and film favourites, chuck in there a bit of Lichfield Cathedral. It is an orchestral tribute. All of those words will get you to the right place eventually. You'd even click on interested in the fact you're going, and I know there's over 1,000 people who are very interested in this show. So make sure you get yourself in there quite
Brilliant.
quickly. Two links on there for each of the two times for the concerts, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. I mean, the London Film Music Orchestra doing their thing, like only they can, really.
Yes, 100%.
Well, thank you, conductor for the London Film Music Orchestra, Kalija Montaka. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. It was lovely to meet you today.